Okay, Mike here again from Clearview, and today we're going to do a fitting on a 2006 on PK Ranger and BT-50, and finally, after a long period of time, we've finally done these mirrors. We've had a lot of inquiries, and now I'm going to show you how to fit. They're pretty simple. So if you just want to come for a walk with me over here, and I'll show you the tools that we need to start with. I use the cheat gun, right? Little 10mm socket, Phillips head, you got the same thing there. I like to use a little skinny screwdriver because we've got to get a couple of little clips out behind the door panel, and sometimes you need the cut a cable tie or something inside the door, and we use that for popping the panels off. So we're going to start up here, remove this first, and it just pulls out. Remember, if it's got a speaker in there, it'll be attached, so don't get too aggressive with it. We've got a Phillips head screw down here in the door handle, and we've got another one up here. So we've got to get this little panel out of here first, and we pop that out like that, and then I'll put me lookers on so I can see things. Take a Phillips head screw out of there, we take another one out here. And then we've got a little panel clip which is just here. So just work the screwdriver around the head of that, and you'll find the centre will pop out, and then you'll be able to pull the whole thing out once it releases. And it probably would have been easier to have done this before I took that off. Just got to work that out. So that works. Pop that off again. Go down underneath the bottom of the door trim down here. Pop that in there somewhere. And just pop that panel off. And you'll find that will come off easy as pie. Now, while we can get to the 3 screws up here, what we can't get to is the wires that run down between the 2 panels on the door. So we have to pop this off here, and then let that sit down in there. And then what we've got to do is get into the inside panel here and get this plastic off, and get to the electrics, which is right here, as you can see. I'll use my little screwdriver for this. Put your hand in there, put a little bit of pressure on that release tag there, and release that connector. Alright, and once you got that off, see that one runs back up the door, and we've got a connector there, right, like a cable tie. So we'll undo the cable tie on here. Well, I don't reckon that's undoing it, that's probably more like chopping it, but try and do that without doing any damage. And then that gives us access to the actual loom that's plugged in a little bit lower down in the door. And it's the same connector as this, you've just got to find the clip for it. And I think it's on the top side there. And you've got to hold that down and put a little bit of back pressure on that at the same time, and we should be able to release that all right. Playing funny buggers with me. There you go. Alright, now once we've got that out, we can undo the mirror, and you need to make sure you got plenty of loom. Good on me, I've just rounded that off, haven't I? These are only tiny little screws because the whole mirror is plastic. Okay, now I've got to get that other one out. I'll have to get a better screwdriver tip. Okay, now we're back in here to the electrics. I've got this out, but make sure that this plug that comes out of there goes back in the same place. Right, this one here goes down there into the door, and you can see it's fixed to the right hand side of that window track. Right, don't go and plug the wrong one in. Right, so that one goes back into there, the same. Right, so just sit it in there while you take your mirror off. Now I'm going to remove the mirror. Hang on to the mirror so it doesn't fall off, smash on the ground or damage something. So now to get this out, you've got to lift this mirror up and feed that wire back up through the door, and it's a pretty tight sort of a fit down through there, but it will come out all right. Now I might have to turn that connector around side on. So that I can twist it a little bit to get it out like that. So it's got to come out sort of flat down that way. You try and pull it up like that and it's going to jam up for sure. So there you go, we've got that off now. We're going to fit the... Okay, as you can see, we've managed to get the wire down the door. It's a bit of a contract to get it down there. Got it in, plugged it in. Make sure you plug this other one back into where it came from as well. Otherwise you'll probably find that your windows won't work or something. Right, that's all good. You can put a cable tie around there if you wish. Up here, what we've done is, because there's not a lot of support in the doors on these things, we've actually put a stainless steel plate on the inside of the door, and we found that that does a reasonably good job of holding everything together. Do yourself a favour, don't finish them off, because we've got a metal stud going into an aluminium base. Don't finish them off with the rattle gun. Do them up by hand. Right, and just nip them all up gently. Right, you don't need a 1/2 inch socket bar on it. It's surprising how much leverage you get on a big one over the small ones. And you don't want to go stripping the aluminium die-cast base threads out of them. And you'll find that when this pulls up, this stainless will take the shape of those door panels. Right, just snip them gently. Not a great deal of leverage on them. Beautiful. Okay, and now you can button it up, put it back together. Right, put your plastic back on here first, which I nearly missed. Pop your door panel back in like that. Line up all your little white clips. One's not lined up there somewhere. That one there, I reckon. There you go. That all feels good. Put your door latch and everything cover back in. Put your screw down in here. Put this clip in, reverse that back out like that, right? And pop that away. Put that into there like that. As you can find it. And push that in there. And we've got another screw in here behind the door latch and that little cover. Put the little cover back over it. And basically you're good to go. I forgot to mention, when we're putting this on, just go around and check all your electrics and make sure they're all working before you button all this up. It'll just save you a bit of time if something's not working for some reason. So I'll do that now. So we've got an indicator going up with the glass, going down, going out, coming back in. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, go do it and enjoy.